Hello and a very warm welcome to a new video here on my channel here at commaik. I was able to test the Lymow One robotic lawnmower last year, and now behind me you see the Lymow One Plus, the new version that was released this year. Lymow has completely redesigned the mower deck, installed a more powerful motor, updated the blades and updated the software, so there are plenty of new features. This robotic mower isn't for a small home garden. It's designed for very large areas. If you want to know if this thing is worth it, if the upgrade is worth the money, then stay tuned because that's exactly what this video is about. The Lymow One Plus immediately catches the eye, not just because of its striking crawler drive with 10 cm wide tracks, but also because of its floating mower deck. Two real blades ensure that the grass is cut accurately, and this thing really has power. The battery has a capacity of 15 ampere hours and the operating voltage is 35 volts. This battery delivers 500 watt hours. This means that this device can mow up to 7,000 square meters per day. That is gigantic. This thing isn't meant for a small front yard, but for large areas, as you can see here. The robotic mower has now mowed my test area in half a day, and I want to show you what it can do, how to set it up, what accessories come with it, and of course, what to expect. Let's take a look at the accessories. What do you get delivered? Of course, you get the quick start guide provided in various languages, so you can get started with the robot right away without having to read the long instruction manual first. Because it's quite something, this manual has quite a few pages. You don't necessarily need it because everything is explained perfectly in the app. Included in the package, besides the mount for the RTK on the lawn with the ground spike, is also a wall mount, specifically this one here. That means you can also mount the RTK antenna somewhere on the wall and don't need this ground rod. I think that's very nice because other manufacturers charge a lot for this extra. The antenna itself, the RTK antenna, is of course also included. It's either screwed on here or onto the ground spike to pick up the satellite signals. Important during installation, this antenna needs a clear view of the sky to receive satellite signals clearly from all areas. You get a small power cable with it, a small power supply, because this antenna doesn't necessarily have to be attached to the charging station. You can connect it directly with the included cable right on the back of the charging station. But if you want to set up the antenna somewhere else entirely, there's an additional power supply to provide the antenna with power. Then you can also mount the antenna somewhere in front of the house and the robot drives behind the house. As long as the RTK antenna has a good line of sight to the robot, it works. What else is there? A second RTK cable, an extension cable, the ground anchors to fix the charging station in the ground, and of course screws and wall plugs to fix the anchoring in the house wall. And what I think is really great is a really long cable for the power supply of the charging station, because the charging station itself is quite something. The robot has a very large battery built in, and you get a 10 ampere hour charger included in the scope of delivery. To ensure the power cables can handle this load, a special extension cable is also included. So you can also install the power supply unit elsewhere and install it there protected and waterproof. Then the charging station is connected with this long cable. The connections on the charging station and also on these cables are all IPX6 waterproof, just like this robot. So it's no problem at all if the unit is outside in the rain and gets wet. Of course, it's also no problem to clean the robot with water. You can raise the mower deck with the cutting unit and then easily rinse it out with the garden hose to clean it. By the way, these tracks are 10 centimeters wide. This means that the weight is distributed very well on the ground, because the 34 kilograms definitely leave marks, at least when the lawn is wet or soft. You'll see later, this isn't a device for the beautiful ornamental lawn in the front garden, it's a device for large areas. Back here on the side, I've set up the charging station where it doesn't bother anyone and doesn't take up too much space. I connected the power supply to the charging station in a waterproof way using the extension cable. I connected the RTK antenna right next to it. The view upwards is largely clear. I drove the robot into the station and activated it. The start pin is 4 zeros, which you'll of course have to change to your own pin later. To do this and get started, you first have to pair the device with the Lymow app. The corresponding links for Android or iOS, I'll put them in the video description so you can download the app directly. And for the installation in the app, you just need to click on the big plus, activate Bluetooth and pair the robot with the app. The charging station is installed, the robot is paired with the charging station, I've set it up in the app, and next comes the mapping. For the mapping, I use the cursor in the app to steer the robot here to the start of this meadow and will now drive along this edge to map the property. The robot doesn't do this automatically, so you have to drive along the boundaries with the robot once to create the map. The Lymow One Plus is clearly aimed at a different target group than classic robotic mowers. While many devices are designed for smaller, more manicured gardens, this system was developed specifically for large areas and challenging terrain. In my case, that's about 4,000 square meters of meadow, which is significantly more than the typical home garden. A key difference from its predecessor lies in the completely redesigned cutting system. The Lymow One Plus now operates with the so-called LyCut 2.0 system. It uses two large rotating blades made of SK5 steel, which operate at about 6,000 revolutions per minute. With a cutting width of around 40 centimeters, that's significantly more than classic robotic mowers. Unlike typical robotic mowers with small razor blades, Lymow is taking a different approach here. The goal isn't just shortening the grass, but an active cut similar to a classic lawn mower. The whole thing is supported by the so-called cyclone airflow effect. This straightens the grass before cutting, which ensures a clean cut and better mulch distribution. Another important point is the new floating cutting deck. The cutting system is flexibly mounted and adapts to the ground. Especially on uneven terrain, this ensures a much more even result. Lymow also continues to rely on the crawler concept for the drive. According to the manufacturer, slopes of up to 45 degrees or 100% are possible. The Lymow One Plus also combines several technologies for navigation. For basic positioning, the robot uses RTK satellite navigation, which enables centimeter-precise location and thus forms the basis for precise mowing without boundary wires. In addition, a camera-based system is used, the so-called VSLAM, in which the robot visually captures its surroundings and can orient itself even if the satellite signal is restricted by trees or buildings, for example. The whole thing is complemented by a binocular eye camera that works with depth detection and can reliably recognize and avoid obstacles such as toys, branches, or garden tools. For distance measurement, the robot also uses several ultrasonic sensors that continuously monitor the area in front of the device and detect obstacles early, even if they are low or difficult to see. An integrated lift sensor ensures that the cutting system stops immediately as soon as the robot is lifted, while a rain sensor detects when it starts to rain and automatically interrupts the mowing process. The combination of these systems results in very stable navigation even under difficult conditions such as under trees, near buildings, or on irregularly shaped areas. The entire control is done via the app. Here, zones can be defined, mowing time set, and the area managed. Compared to the original Lymow one thing stands out. The focus is now much more on than real mowing. According to the manufacturer, the motor is 2.6 times stronger and the entire cutting system was consistently designed for higher loads. With a runtime of up to 3 hours per charge and a potential daily output of up to 7,000 square meters, the Lymow One Plus is clearly in a league of its own. It's not your typical robotic mower, but rather an automated large area mower. The Lymow One Plus has been mowing this lawn for about a week now. It does so completely autonomously and independently. I don't even have to be there. Using the built-in cameras, I can check at any time where it's currently mowing, and if there's an obstacle like a hedgehog, the robot must not run over it under any circumstances. By the way, I'm going to test how well the obstacle detection actually works by placing this little hedgehog here and showing you if the obstacle detection operates reliably. Perfect, that's how it should be. The robotic mower should cut the grass and not the animals that live here. 100 points from me. Feel free to give me some feedback on the Lymow One Plus at this point. Leave a comment under the video. What do you think of this device and what do you think of its features? I'm also interested in knowing what's important to you in a robotic mower. Is it the area it can mow in terms of size? Is it the slope? Is it the clean cut? What matters to you? I've created a quiz for this and placed it under the video, so feel free to click on what's important to you. And if you want to know more about the device, then please take a look at the description below the video. There you'll find more information, technical specifications for the device, and of course the product links, including the available discount codes that I'm allowed to share with you. The Lymow One 2.0 cutting system is a complete overhaul of the previous system. The mower deck has a cutting width of 40 centimeters and a total of 2 rotating blades that cut the grass accurately. By long pressing the plus symbol here in the menu, I can raise the mower deck and show you in detail how it works. The power has been increased by 2.6 times compared to the previous model. You can really notice that, especially with tough and stiff grass. This thing really just flattens everything. And now you can see the 2 blades here. One of the special features compared to the previous model is that there's no longer a left and right, but both blades rotate in the same direction. The rubber lips up here and the diffuser create a vacuum that lifts the grass, cuts it, and then blows it away through this area at the top. The clippings are then ejected here on the side. The previous model had an ejection on the left and one on the right. Now there's only one ejection. Important, I already noticed in my test that when the grass is wet, it naturally sticks here for the most part. And even if the entire area is mostly clogged, the mower keeps going anyway, because these 2 motors, they really pack a punch. The robot's mower deck can be used in a completely free-floating way or supported by these wheels on the side. Depending on what your ground is like, you can adjust this individually in the app. By the way, you can also set the height at which the robot should cut there. Between 30 and 100 millimeters is possible here. Another special feature compared to the previous model is the automatic cleaning of the track area. On the side here, the clippings used to collect in the previous model, clogging the whole thing up. The side panel is removable and you now have a brush built in down here that ensures the clippings are automatically swept out. I think that's a great idea. Lymow listens to its customers and implements what is requested. I'm going to let the robot continue mowing now. It's no problem at all via the app. Just click on resume and it starts up again. By default, the mower runs at 0.6 meters per second, so I can more or less walk alongside it comfortably. But I can adjust the speed individually, as well as the rotation speed of the 2 cutting blades. I'll do that now by first pausing the robot briefly and going into the settings. Increase the speed to 1 meter per second and also increase the speed of the 2 rotary blades to the maximum. After I've saved everything, the robot starts immediately and you can hear it. The thing has become significantly louder and above all, it's also much faster. 1 meter per second means I already have to walk alongside it quickly, and at this pace it's not surprising that the robot can handle 7,000 square meters a day. While the Lymow One Plus is still doing its rounds here, I'd like to give you my conclusion on the robotic mower. I was already able to test the Lymow One last year, so I have a direct comparison between the Lymow One Plus and last year's model. Do you already own last year's model? Then I have to tell you that, in my opinion, an upgrade to the Lymow One Plus isn't worth it. The previous model was already very robust and very good. The innovations aren't that major either. But if you're looking for a robotic mower that was developed for large areas of up to 7,000 square meters a day, if you're looking for a robotic mower that can handle a 100% incline, if you're looking for a robotic mower that has no problem with animal and obstacle detection during fully autonomous mowing, then you should definitely take a closer look at the Lymow One Plus. This device doesn't just have power, it's also sensitive to its surroundings. It definitely convinced me. One single innovation, I must say, didn't quite convince me, and that is the side discharge, which is now only available on one side. The previous model had the discharge on both sides. There, the mower deck doesn't clog as quickly with wet grass as it does now with the Lymow One Plus. However, there are of course technical reasons for this. Because of the airflow system that's supposed to lift the grass, a vacuum must be produced. This new design simply requires a single discharge on the side. What's your opinion? Feel free to leave a comment under the video. Let me know what you think of the Lymow One Plus. Do you think the upgrade is worth it compared to the previous model? How about you? Do you even have a need for such a huge monster? Do you have this large area? The device weighs nearly 35 kilograms. I'm really looking forward to your feedback, your opinion. Also check out the quiz under the video, and if you're interested in this thing, then feel free to take a look at the video description. I'll put the appropriate links there where you can buy the thing. You can also get my discount code there, which I'm allowed to pass on to you. Thank you very much for your support. Looking forward to the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.